presentation of information.
They say it's clearly evidence.
Because the document listed a bunch of articles. They do nothing to confirm, obviously.
No. How do you feel about this?
Well, I'm not surprised, because unfortunately, around the world, this is how most medical devices end up getting into people's bodies, with a very, very poor regulatory process.
If you did a simple search, if he'd have spent 5-10 minutes and just said, let me put in vaginal mesh, concerns, problems, safety, he would have ended up with a whole trawl along Google. And when I do talks about this, I say, people go, well, what's the problem? I say, just type it in and see what happens. You immediately would start to see litigation, major problems, major adverse events that's causing people to say, what's going on? And them adverse events are really, some of them, quite serious.
In het academisch ziekenhuis Aken laten we professor Klinge ook ons materiaal bekijken. Hij stond mede aan de wieg van het Ultra Pro-matje, het hernia-matje waar we data uit kopieerden voor ons eigen bekkenbodemmatje. Nog steeds werkt hij aan hernia-matjes. Hij herkent de gang van zaken.
He did his job. Yeah, that is what his criteria or his forms are asking for him. To look to your paperwork and say whether you can do it. But obviously it's insufficient to eliminate risks.
Oké, ons matje is inhoudelijk door. Dus het desastreuze ontwerp met 8 armen en zelfs het feit dat ons matje 1 op de 3 vrouwen verminkt, is goed bevonden. Maar wat als ze ons product daadwerkelijk willen zien? We hebben tenslotte alleen een mandarijnennetje.
You do, as manufacturer, you make the conformity assessment by your own. What we certify is not the product. We certify in Europe a quality management system of the manufacturer, which allows that the manufacturer is able to make this conformity assessment by himself.
In all this work, when I've wrote about devices, I've always made one mistake, and I've only ever made one mistake. I always thought they got to see the device, looked at the device, and basically said, we've looked at, maybe done some tests, looked at it. And actually, even that, what he's showing is, they don't even want to see the device. They don't even want to go near it. They don't even want you to talk to them about it. They just want you to meet the checklist. And they're going to help you meet the little bits of the checklist. And once you've got ticks in every box, you're through. There's going to be no failure, because if you don't meet a checklist, they're going to help you go back, come back. If they don't like your evidence, we'll cherry pick a bit of different evidence. If you did that in drugs, it'd just be like the Wild West of healthcare.
In Brussel ontmoeten we Europarlementariër Glenis Willmott. Zij is kort geleden aangesteld als voorzitter van de werkgroep die zich buigt over de regelgeving rond medische hulpmiddelen. How's the safety of the patient guaranteed if they don't certify the product?
Well, it can't be. That's the problem, it can't be. And we really need to have stronger measures in place. That is just not acceptable. It proves to me that this legislation on medical devices really does need to be overhauled. We want to do it very quickly and we need to get on with that process because that's just shocking and it's just not acceptable.
In Turijn willen ze wel graag een sample zien, maar het uiteindelijke eindproduct zien ze pas als we al een jaar in productie zijn.
Well, after 1 year, we check the real production.
Yeah, but then it's after.
Now it's not possible.
No,
obviously.
And what is it after the CE marking then? Because
yes, after you have put in the market the product.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah.
Even this step that they are coming 1 year after launching the product to the market, it shows that this system is not able to detect any risks for the patients or for the performance in the clinical use. They are just controlling whether it is manufactured in a controlled process, whether the machines are there and so. But it is not able to detect any risks for the patients and to add anything to the safety of a device. That's it.
They first give the CE mark.
Yes.
And after a year, They check the production.
And these are for high-risk devices.
Yes.
These aren't for sticking plasters. These are for high-risk devices that will be implanted into people's bodies. That is disgraceful.
Even voor de helderheid. We hebben geen fabriek en we gaan dit desastreuze matje natuurlijk niet op de markt brengen. Maar dit weten de notified bodies die we hebben bezocht niet. Ze blijven maar benadrukken dat we in een partnership zitten en dat we er wel uitkomen.
How many manufacturers didn't get the CE mark in the end?
Yeah, so until today, obviously, all people, all clients that are requested the CE mark are arrived at the end of the path.
In the last years, on my desk, I had only one company. I had to say no thanks, no further recertification.
Okay. And how many cases do you have?
We have at the moment about 250 companies under contract.
This entire process is a sham. It tells me this entire process is for show. They're not actually scrutinizing. It's hard to believe all 250 of these products were really safe and belonged on the market. That's really very, very hard to believe.
We can't rely on the European Union right now for the safety of the medical devices.
For medical devices, if that is typical, I would agree with you. If that is what is happening, that is a disgrace and we can't rely on that.
Maar dan willen we nu toch echt graag weten hoe groot de kans is dat ons mandarijnennetje het CE-keurmerk gaat krijgen. Gebaseerd op ons waardeloze technisch dossier.
In my opinion, the successful can be the 90-95%. We don't see the no problem for the critical problem.
What is the percentage we get the CE mark?
Because they want to know we can
100% you can get the CE mark, yeah?
Well, we basically want to make an estimation how sure it is that we get the CE mark.
100% is too much.
We will agree with 99.9 also.
Okay. Yeah, of course, this does not look like a mystic product where we have to say no. So there is a clinical necessity. There is